Hey, Nikki Brown here. No matter where you are and what part of the world you're in, I hope that you're having a good day. So, we're going to just do a little early AM chat. Um, for those of you who know me for real, or have at least been watching my videos, um, you may know a little bit about me. Um, at the present moment, I work 3 jobs and I'm working on growing 2 businesses. So, well, actually, kind of 3. And, okay, so 3 and 3, right? So, one of the jobs that I work on is Amazon, right? And Amazon, out of all businesses, pays at least a halfway decent amount of money, right? Depending on what area you work in, um, they may start you out with 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 dollars an hour. Again, depending on where you live. Whereas a lot of jobs on average are starting people out with 12, 13, 14, 16 if you're lucky, right? Dollars an hour. And you have to pretty much work your 40-hour shift plus overtime in order to get a halfway decent paycheck, right? So with Amazon, I noticed that, well, one of my friends actually at work, he says a lot of the young people just come to work for Amazon so they could get a pair of Jordans and a buy here, pay here car. Which kind of seems to be true because then after that, they kind of quit. Now, back in the day, I used to always say a lot of the young kids just come to work so they could buy an outfit to go to the club, you know. Especially when I lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, I used to say they just work long enough to buy an outfit for homecoming weekend or outfits for homecoming weekend, and then they're done. Um, Maybe even CIAA and MEAC too, but after that, they're done. Because a lot of them still live home, so they just need enough money to maybe pay for their car, but some of their parents pay for their cars. Some of their parents may make them pay for insurance, but a lot of times um, they don't really have many responsibilities. So when they get on these jobs and they see the politics of the job, they just quit. And, um, they don't worry about it. And they just move on to another job or they do something else, right? Um, a lot of people are starting to become entrepreneurs or have started to become entrepreneurs over the years. But what I've noticed is a lot of people, they want the benefits, but a lot of people don't want to do the work that it takes to maintain their own and be consistent with it. Um, no matter, whatever challenges may come up, some people will just give up and move on, whether they're being supported by their parents or not. It's about just wanting the bare minimum. So, enough to, buy their packs of cigarettes, their alcohol, buy pizza, pay their bills, maybe put gas in their car or whatever their transportation is, and that's good enough. And a lot of people don't want to put in the extra effort that it takes to have more and again to maintain it. Then they'll just be satisfied with the bare minimum. And if you do anything above and if someone else like me does anything above and beyond that, it's like, why are you doing all of that? What are you trying to do? Who do you think you are? And it shouldn't be that way. Like, that should not be the mindset. If anything, it should encourage others. And then if you're in a relationship with someone who, even if they're not helping you, if they're not at least supportive and encouraging, that could also be a deterrent for a lot of people, because a lot of people have spouses who want them to stay small, and again, just accept the bare minimum. As long as we have a roof over our head and Jordans, life is good. Then you may have some people who want, okay, as long as we can go on vacation, at least once a year, then we're good. As long as we can drive certain kinds of cars, then we're good. Everybody's mindset about that is different. And again, a lot of people don't want to do the work that it takes to have more and to maintain it. I've also noticed that a lot of men, overall, a lot of women are higher income earners than some men, right? Because a lot of women have gone to college, or a lot of more women are more ambitious. I'm not saying that men aren't ambitious. I'm not saying that men don't go to college. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying in general, in terms of percentages, it is a fact that a higher percentage of women go to and graduate from college than men, and then go on to achieve a certain level of income in comparison to some men who maybe have only earned a high school diploma, and again didn't have any ambition to do anything else. And this is not me picking on anybody. My point is, a lot of men, you have basically kind of two types. You'll have those men who want to leech off of the women who have achieved a certain level of success. And then you have those men who are intimidated by women who've achieved a certain level of success. So if she has a house, it's like, well, I can't do anything for her because she already has everything. Instead of him taking the initiative to say, okay, well, let me just step in and pay the bills, or pay as many of the bills as I can, and make sure, if a doorknob breaks, I fix it or get it fixed. Then you have those again who will completely leech off a woman. They may like her, they may even love her, but they're probably not in love with her, which is a difference, right? But they will be with this woman because, again, she has a certain level of success in his mind, and he can benefit off of what she has achieved. Again, it's not about helping her. It's not even about really wanting to be with her. It's about the benefits that he can get from her. Um, and of course, women do that as well. For years, of course, women have been called gold diggers. Um, for some of those very reasons. But what I'm saying is that I notice more and more men are doing that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that women don't do it. So please don't come in the comments saying, oh, well, women do that too. I understand that women do the same thing too. So let's just get that out the way. Yes, women do it too. Okay? We're acknowledging that now. So we'll get that out the way. But my focus right now is the fact that more and more men are doing that. Okay? That's my point. That's the point I am emphasizing in this message. And some of these men, they don't want to be supportive and they don't want to be encouraging. Again, they just want to benefit off of what she has already achieved. And it's just interesting because back in the day, our fathers, grandfathers, great grandfathers didn't have that mentality. Um, like my great grandfather, he would go to work, he would go fishing, he would clean the fish. My grandmother would season the fish, fry it, and, cook it. Or season it and serve it, fry it and serve it. Um, and so there was this unity there. They worked together. I never heard them argue. He never raised his voice at her, to the best of my knowledge. And there was just a harmony there. There was just a connection. They worked together. If she wanted to watch a soap opera or a game show and the baseball game was on, he would go in the bedroom and listen to it on his transistor radio, right? Or they would watch something together. They would watch the game shows and the talk shows together. Um, if she wanted to discipline one of the children and You know, he felt like she went too far. He would say, Annie, that's enough. And she might, say one or two more cuss words, but that was enough after that. And not like he was telling her what to do, but at the same time, setting some type of boundaries. Like, you don't have to keep going that far. Because, let's just be honest, women have a tendency to go too far and just keep going and going and bringing up the same thing over and over, opening up old wounds. You know, your spouse doesn't wash the dishes, and then you bring up 10 years ago when he cheated. What the hell does that have to do with because he didn't wash the dishes just now? Nothing. And so, that's kind of another topic, but um, my point is sometimes we focus on things that are not as important as we think. I remember my goddaughter said, "Oh, I need." What did she say? She needed the pair of Jordans. I said, "No, you want a pair of Jordans. You don't need them." A lot of people want to look like they have money again instead of doing what it takes to actually achieve and maintain money or status. They just want to buy, the Jordans, the Tims. And it's amazing to me. I was listening to a video yesterday. It's amazing. I can't remember who it was, but someone pointed out that the fact that Jordan hasn't played in like 20 years and people are still obsessed with Jordans. Timberlands, like, you ain't never worked on any construction site. Yet some people feel like they have to have a fresh pair of Tims, the wheat ones, every year. As if they can't get, wash the old ones and wear those again. But anyway, um, that was my early morning chat. If your mindset is ambitious and you want to prosper, then you may have to distance yourself or remove yourself from people who have no ambition and who are just satisfied with the bare minimum. Now, if you're married to this person, you may have to surround yourself with friends who have more ambition. Now, your spouse may feel some kind of way. But if that's what you really want to do, you have a decision to make. Do you want to just stay small and satisfy the comfort level of your spouse? Or do you want to achieve the goals that you wish to accomplish? Because a lot of people look back 20, 30, 40, 50 years, especially once their spouse may have transitioned, like, dag, I should have done this. I should have done that. I was watching oh goodness, what's her name? Mm. A really old singer, a famous singer. She used to be with Mahalia Jackson. Sorry, not King. Mahalia Jackson's story. And her mom wanted to be a dancer, a ballet dancer. And she talked about how she wanted to be a dancer, but she ended up getting married, and her husband didn't want her to do that, right? And so, as she was talking about how she wanted to be a dancer, it seems like she had an anxiety attack, and she felt this pain in the pit of her stomach. She went to lie down, and she died of a heart attack. And I really feel like it's because those emotions were so overwhelming to her that she didn't achieve the goals that she wanted to achieve in life, that it took her life. Because our mind is very powerful and our thoughts become things. She didn't want to settle for being a housewife, although that's a great accomplishment, right? You know, in your obituary, it's going to talk about how many children or grandchildren you had. It may or may not talk about your career depending on your relatives. But if you have a famous career as a dancer or something of that nature, um, That may be included in there. Or someone may just say, oh, she loved to dance. She loved to make people laugh. She loved to make people smile. He loved to dance. He loved to make people smile. Right? But if, you settle for her, she was a maid. She didn't want to clean up after, Caucasian people. She wanted to be a dancer. And since she never achieved that, again, I think that's something that took her out really early. Same thing too with Mahalia Jackson. Mahalia Jackson. I think she felt like she had to redeem or vindicate her family name or the family honor. And this is one of the reasons why she went so hard. And she didn't take a break. And she ended up succumbing to a similar fate. And both her and her mom were pretty young when they transitioned. So a lot of people, they grow old and they regret the fact that they didn't pursue what they wanted to pursue. Pursue what you want to do, even if it's on a small scale. I know someone who wanted to be a basketball player, and I said, okay, even if you can't be a basketball player, can you be a coach? Can you work for a team? You know, can you start a team in your neighborhood? Coach some young boys in your neighborhood. Show them how to achieve this goal. I think you would still feel fulfilled and satisfied with that. Because some people are meant to teach. Not everyone's meant to be the star. Some people are meant to teach. And it's okay. It doesn't make someone else better than you. Because we all have a different calling. We all have a different destiny. We all have a different mission, however you want to say it. But we're all different from a reason, for a reason, and we're all different so that we can learn from one another, not to judge one another, not to criticize one another, not to be jealous of one another, not to be envious of one another. That's not why we're here. We're here to help one another and learn from one another, not to use and abuse one another. And this is what some people don't understand or realize. So that was my chat today. I love y'all as always. Mwah. Until next time. Later.